Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Conversations in Pop Culture. I have with me professional wrestler Ariela Nyx. So,
Woo!
welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, I'm super excited. We've been wanting to do this, or I've been wanting to do this. I don't know if you've been wanting to do it, but I've wanted to do it
Of
for a while.
course.
And so, I think the place to start, we're going to talk a little bit about wrestling, a little bit about Pop Funkos, but I think the place to start, because it's on everybody's mind, is COVID 19. And I'm very curious how you're handling COVID 19.
Um, I miss wrestling and stuff like that. Like it's crazy just to see like how the world has completely shut down. Fortunately, I'm still working, so that's keeping me busy working from home during the day. So I'm grateful for that right now. And, like I said before, just missing wrestling and not knowing what to do with myself at this point because I'm like, okay, usually, I have like shows on weekends and things like that. I'm going to training or doing something. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to work out at home as much as I can. But so like he's trying to keep in shape for when wrestling does come back. So yeah, it's not the same though.
And to talk even a little bit about that, because wrestling and the entertainment industry has been massively torpedoed. And I kind of want to give people a little bit of background on who you are as a wrestler. Because you've been wrestling for Primetime Pro Wrestling, VPW. Also, think you had some stuff done for Capital Wrestling, which is
Hmm.
train wreck. They've been
Yep.
setting fire to rain, and that's code for something else completely. If anybody knows what I'm talking about, just like this video, and I'll know what you mean. I'm sure Ariella will know what you mean,
Yep.
and a variety of other places. Some places in Pennsylvania. You also been in Game Changer a little bit. So, how'd you get into wrestling a little bit? Just to give people an idea, and then we're going to break down some of these matches.
Well, I grew up watching it. I've been a fan since I was maybe like 4 years old. So it's always been a part of my life. Decided to start training a few years ago randomly. It was like, I'm going to go for it. It was actually like I was friends with Jay Lethal, and he was the one that kind of convinced me to start training. So we can blame him for this now.
Him,
But
Lindsay
so
Snow,
I
a
was,
few others, Aspen Rose, I think, in there.
yep. Yeah, I know she trains with him and stuff. So, yeah, like I was always a fan, but never really had the urge to do it until a few years ago.
And then it kind of just jumped out, and you've been going ever since. And I mentioned Game Changer because that was one of your earliest stuff that you
Yeah.
did. And that's kind of a very interesting promotion because for those who don't know a story about Game Changer, and we mentioned there's a company called Nova, and that's also a disaster. And we're going to get to Primetime because kind of Primetime burst out of that with the
Mhm.
Gator Pit and everything, which is
Yep.
really, really cool stuff. And I'm sure we're going to get to talking about that. But one of the things that happened is that Game Changer kind of got on the map a little bit because of the collection back in
Hmm.
2018, 2019, because they saved that. And you wrestled for them before this. So what was it like wrestling for them? Because they were kind of just starting out and starting to get a name out there with those early stuff.
I liked them a lot. Like I knew they were going to be something special when I worked with them a long time ago. Like Danny's a great guy, Brett's a great guy. I'm really happy for their success right now. Like they are killing it, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to do once everything comes back.
And one of the things that I like about Game Changer is that they have been constantly expanding. And for those who
Yeah.
don't know this company and this promotion, they're the group, I guess, that puts on Joey Janela's Spring Break. They were doing Effie's Big Gay Brunch. And I think we could keep on going on and on. And I think they do Bloodsport and a
Yep.
variety of others. They just got onto the West Coast. And it's a very cool company to have worked for and to work for. So, what is it like to kind of be at the beginning of companies? Because we're going to obviously talk about prime time pro wrestling, where you're wrestling now, and you were there from the very start. But with Game Changer, even with that, so what was that entire experience like? And then now they're somewhere, and when are you coming back? Because I guess everybody
I
wants
mean,
to
I would
know.
love to come back. I mean, like they're killing, like you said, they're traveling all over the world, not even just the country. Like they've run shows in Japan. They've been all over. So like I would love to come back at some point. Maybe we will. But it was great working with them, like I said before, just in knowing that at least I was a part of it, like their beginning. So it's cool to say, like, hey, I was a part of that too,
And then another big one that I want to talk about that some people might know, some people might not know, is Victory Pro Wrestling.
Mhm.
And you were the VPW Women's Champ for a while. I think you almost had a year-long run.
Pretty much, yeah. From February to January, so almost a year.
You faced some pretty interesting people. You and Eris
Yeah.
Rain had your feud, and the two of you went at it. And how many matches did the two of you have? Because you've had no contests and a variety of other matches, and just massive feud is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah, we've wrestled. I think it was 3 times because first my debut there was in a triple threat that she was involved in, and then it was like the fans' choice who they voted for, and they voted for her to get the title shot, and then of course these girls came in and messed up the whole match, so we never really got to finish our feud. But so hopefully maybe once wrestling returns.
And what is that like? Because fans obviously, for the most part, don't make matches, don't book matches. But what is
Mhm.
that experience like? Because WWE did something called Taboo Tuesday, and they voted, and then we had Cyber Sunday, and we don't really see this on the indie scene all that often, where the fans vote. So, what was that experience like? Because I think that's really unique.
It's cool. Like, I mean, it gives them a chance to be involved and to say, they help put a match together. So I think it's a really cool experience for them. And it's cool that VPW does it because, like you said, a lot of places don't. I don't think anybody really does. I'm not sure. But, yeah, it's cool. And it was different. Like, just to, let them have a say in what they want to see.
And then you and Karen Bam Bam have also faced each other, and there might be some bad blood there. So
Yeah,
I'm going to
she
let you
cheated.
explain.
She cheated. She cheated to win a title. That's the only way she was able to beat me. So it's all right. I got her once, we're back. I'll get her.
And now we're going to table that because this is what I really want to get to. And I just wanted to give people a taste of who you are because you're kind of killing it. And we're not going to go set fire to rain with Capital Wrestling. They
Oh
have
boy.
enough fires to put out. And she's laughing because we're not. I'm not even going to explain the story. There's plenty of stuff out on the internet for everybody else to go that way. But I do have to bring up Nova, which was also problematic because in Nova, you were part of something called the Gator Pit. And for those who don't know, President Gator, who is the co founder with Lolo of Primetime Wrestling, was kind of the head of that with a variety of other wrestlers. So, what was the formation like of that, and what was it like working with Gator? Because he's been around in the wrestling business for a while now, and he has so much knowledge in the wrestling business.
Yeah, he's very wrestling smart. We actually knew each other. We were friends before either of us were in the business. So we've known each other a very long time. And when he contacted me, it was like, I want you to be a part of this. It was like, of course, like known you for so long and now I'm getting a chance to work with you. So it's pretty cool. Like the group was pretty much established. I was the last one brought in, save the best for last. No, I'm kidding. But like I said, just getting to work with him after being friends with him for so long, like we both, like I said, we were just fans when we met, and like now seeing that we're both in the business in different roles, and we're both doing very well, so it's been cool. He's a great dude.
And what is that like? Because that group has a lot of experience. And when you came in, you were very green and you're still very early on in your career. So, what was it like to even get that boost of experience in and
I
kind of
was
get that mentorship to some degree?
It was great because it was a group of guys I never really worked with before. So, you learn from everybody, whether they're, brand new, they're veterans, you can learn from anybody. So getting to work with different people, different mindsets that have learned different things, come from different backgrounds. So it was a nice little mix. Like I missed that group.
And to jump off of this, because I'm assuming, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Gator and Lolo formed Primetime Wrestling. Nova imploded for a variety of reasons. Shoot out to Ethan Page, and I think Brandon Kirk are sort of the start of that a little bit. But what was it like when you were brought into Primetime Wrestling? Because that's a very new promotion. They're about a year old at this point, and obviously they're right now on hiatus due to COVID-19. But What was that like, and how did that even come about, and that offer come onto your plate?
I get from just working from with Gator from Nova. He told me right away, like, I want to bring you in. He always believed in me, and like I'll always be grateful for that. And it's a new promotion. They could bring in anybody they wanted, and they wanted me to be a part of it. So that just means the world to me. Like, I've been at every show. I plan to be at every show going forward. So I'll always be grateful for the opportunity they've given me so far.
And one of the things about primetime that I like is that they bring in a variety of talent. And that is something very cool. So they bring in a lot of people from DC who are DC favorites, DC locals, but they also seek out other talent from all over. Butch vs. Gore, which was their latest show, that was their first show streamed on IWTV,
Hmm.
was a very diverse show that showed off a lot of LBGTQ talent that people don't know. And you have to work
Yep.
with a bunch of people on that show. So what is that like to even be in a diverse locker room?
Oh, it's great. Like, primetime really has the best locker room. Like, everybody gets along. There's no drama. Everybody's like, supportive of each other. And getting to do that show was really special to me because they got, a lot of people will do like Pride shows during June because it's Pride month. But prime time, they wanted to just kind of show their support and not just, oh, because it's this month. And they really believe in the talent that they brought in. And it was like their best show. I mean, all the shows have been great. So it's, like it was awesome to be a part of that. And like to see all the talented wrestlers there. It was, again, just honored to be a part of it.
And the match that you were in, you were facing Il O'Neill, Jordan Blade, as well as Solo Darling and Will Nightingale, and Logan Black was your mystery partner.
Yep.
And I love Logan. Logan's great. But what was that entire match like? Because that was right before intermission. It was a very hot match, for lack of
Mm-hmm.
a better word. It definitely was one of the peaks in the entire card lineup. So it was right before
Mm-hmm.
intermission, and it was also an elimination match. So
Yep.
what was it like to wrestle those people? Because Il O'Neill's great, Jordan Blade's amazing, and Solo, in my opinion, is one of the
Yeah.
best wrestlers
Oh
right
yeah.
now
Agreed.
on the entire indie scene, if not in the
Agreed.
entire wrestling world.
Yeah, I agree. Like you just said, they're all super talented, and getting to share the ring with all of them was great. I've been wanting to work all of them for a while, and I'm like, all right, somebody has to make this match happen somehow, and I got all of them at once. So, even though we lost, we won't talk about that part. But yeah, like you said, they're so talented, and hopefully, I get to share the ring with them again soon.
And you also, at the show before that, which I'm not going to get its name right because it's got a long name. That's the only mistake Primetime has ever made. I swear to God that name, and it's like the international something or other.
Yeah, that's why I renamed it in my promo. It's the Ariela Nyx is Amazing tournament. I just renamed it. It was something simpler.
You got to wrestle with Effie and Nick Iggy of all people, and
Great.
I love Effie. Effie was on my main podcast. Nick Iggy knows how to tell a joke. So, what was it like going up against those two? Because Effie is definitely more of a local in prime time, and Nick Iggy kind of comes up whenever Nick Iggy comes up due to the relationship with Action
Mhm.
to some degree.
Yeah. They're both great. I was so excited when I found out it was going to be them in the first round. I was like, finally, like I've been wanting to work both of them so bad. I was like, yes. I was really happy. Again, they cheated, but we won't talk about that.
And to even go further, because Effie right now is one of the most popular independent wrestlers out there, and he has been ascending for probably the last 18 months. So, what is it like to get to work with somebody who has pretty much eyes on them all the time? Because in many ways, that highlights your match and be put
Yeah.
in that spot where you're trusted enough to be in that position.
Yeah, I adore Effie so much. And the last time I saw him, he was like, I can't wait to wrestle you again. I'm going to tell Gator, like, we got to wrestle again. And we were supposed to at the last show, but, of course, this stupid virus. So to know that Effie has literally wrestled everybody, or almost everybody, has been all over, and he's like, I want to wrestle you again, like, that meant the world to me. And I'm just like, I love you so much. But he's such a great dude. I'm so happy for him. Like, I know this whole thing with the COVID and him not getting to do his show this year. And he had like so many bookings. Like he was going to nail it. Like WrestleMania weekend was going to be Effie's weekend. And to see that, like, but I mean, I know he'll be fine and he's going to own it once wrestling is back. So I'm not too worried for him. He'll be good.
And to turn it back to you, because you have sort of a secret weapon, and I want to talk about this relationship, and that's Mark Haggerty. And there's certain things that happen with Mark Haggerty. He's your manager. He's meant to protect you to some degree, and he is one of the best shit talkers ever. and so so what is your relationship, and how did even that come up? Because it really works. It works amazingly, and when he comes out, it's just fantastic.
Yeah, isn't he great? I just adore him too. We've known each other a while, and then he pitched to me. He's like, I want to make you like the female of the Fun Boys, and I'm like, really? Like, it's flattered. Like, again, he could have had anybody, and he wanted me to be a part of it. And again, that just made me happy. I'm like, wow, like he could be with anybody, but he wanted me, and it's worked. Like, I love working with him, and I hope once everything comes back that we are booked together a lot more because he's great. And like, he's everywhere too. So like you were mentioning before, like getting to work with him, people get to see me with him and stuff. So hopefully everybody else likes us together too.
And there's one thing that we have to talk about. I'm not exactly sure who he is, but he was the announcer at that complicated tournament name, and you sort of ribbed him at the last show. So how did that even come about? Because it's a really funny, because Mark Haggerty was involved in that. And I'm going to give a little context. I think he was yelling at Mark out
always
at the side, and then he was yelling at Mark. Mark had a face mask on for those who could just imagine. And then I think you took off your jacket and just threw it in his face, and then just continued on.
Yep. That's what I do. You disrespect my manager, your face is getting covered.
So how did that come about? Because it was really funny, and it was a very funny moment. And I don't think anybody was expecting it. Was it planned? Was it not planned? Was it a spur of the moment thing?
It was a little planned, but because I did it to him the last show too. So it's just like, oh, this is just going to be the thing. Because I do it to a lot of people. Usually that's just my shtick. I'm like, I'm going to be rude and especially like if I'm like debuting somewhere new where the crowd doesn't really know me. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make them hate me right away.
Oh. And then there's one more primetime wrestler that we got to talk about that you haven't wrestled in primetime, but I think it's going to have to happen. And that's Faye Jackson, because you and Faye Jackson have faced...
We did wrestle. We wrestled on the first show.
You did wrestle. My bad.
Yes, the tournament. I beat her. I won.
That is true, because you faced Brex Keller.
Yep.
And then cheated. That didn't turn out in your favor, but there's some unfinished business between the two of you, because that was a great match.
Thank you. Yes, our paths will cross again.
And now I kind of want to back out of prime time, because right now nothing's going on. A lot of stuff was supposed to happen. And what I do like about prime time is that I like the concept of equal fights type mentality, in which you wrestle guys, you wrestle women, and there's no discrimination in that realm. But I'm going to table prime time for the time being, because I do want to talk about a little bit more of where do you think wrestling is going with COVID-19 at this point? Because obviously things have changed in the world, both for people on an economic level, as well as people feeling comfortable, as well as a whole bunch of story just got destroyed.
I don't know. Wrestling's definitely going to be different when it comes back. I don't know if every promotion's going to be able to come back. I don't know if new promotions are going to start. Even some talent might not come back. They might take this year off or, 6 more, however long it's going to be, and be like, no, I don't want to go back. I think most of us are missing it. So, but, and then especially now we're good. I don't know if we're going to be able to have the same amount of crowds, if people are going to be able to sit next to each other. We don't really know what's going to happen. It's going to be interesting to see, but I definitely think it's going to be different.
And one of the things that I've been having conversations with people privately is I think that certain talent is not going to be able to make it through, where they're going to be like, I really can't go through something like this again in 5 years again. It is,
Mm-hmm.
I think, on a mental health level, has done a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a wrestler. I
Mm-hmm.
run a podcast. I run a website. I run a semi-small business that is not my full-time job. But I
Mm-hmm.
have been mentally affected by the way this has been dealt with. And I think a lot of talent is going to not be able to come back so easily. And so that's something
Yeah.
that I think fans don't understand, is that they don't understand that the amount of pressure that's on it and what it's actually going to be doing to promotion. That I think come, late 2020, which is what it's looking like, or early 2021, when promotions don't show up, I think fans are going to really get it.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
that it's going to change the perception of wrestling, because the big boys like WWE, and if you've been watching the news, and even AEW and Impact, and especially WWE, just released like 40% of their talent, and a bunch of those people are going to be hired back at some point, I think, but
Mm-hmm.
they're even hurting. And so I can't
Yeah.
imagine and they're still running, and I can't even imagine what the indies are like right now in that realm of running a promotion, because they're not running at all. Most of them aren't, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's like anybody in any industry. Everybody's losing their jobs. They don't have a paycheck coming in, and that's stressful. You have bills to pay. Like you know, it's hard. And like you said, I don't know what's gonna happen when we come. Like a lot of these companies, the smaller ones might not be able to, because if they're not working, if they're not bringing in money, they're not going to be able to spend the money to run again. So I mean, hopefully that's not the case. But I mean, the longer this goes, who really knows?
And now I think we beat wrestling up, because I don't want to ask you to make a prediction, because I don't want to hold your feet to the fire, because I don't think anybody knows when this thing is going to end. But I will say this:
Yeah.
entertainment is the last thing that will come back.
Hmm.
Going to the bar is not the first thing that's going to come back when we get back
No.
to normalcy, and we will. For those who
Yeah.
are watching, I don't want to create fear here. We are gonna
Yeah.
eventually get back to normalcy. This is not the new normal. This is a
Yeah.
temporary speed bump that will probably last at the most anywhere from another 6 months to 10 months at the most. And that's
Yeah.
being extremely cautious and conservative. But I do want to talk about something completely else that you are a
Okay.
big fan of, and this is Pop Funkos, because I love Pop Funkos.
Me
And
too.
so I'm curious when you got into Pop Funkos. And for those who don't know what a Pop Funko is, it's almost like 3.5, or sometimes they're 6 inches in a really big box, and
Hmm.
they're in cardboard, and they have like a little window cutout, and they're from mostly licensed products, from anything from Star Wars to WWE to anime or anything in between. You name it,
Hmm.
Funko has licensed it. So I'm very curious when you got into collecting Funkos.
I would say like a year and a half ago, something like that. Still pretty new to it, but I love them. They're so cute.
So now I am the type of collector that looks for like the pristine boxes and makes them all neat. It keeps them in their box. I don't rip open the box. I look
No.
for like the chase variants. I also stay up to like 2 in the morning sometimes to like get them when they first come out on Hot Topic or
Hmm.
FYE, and I get all bent out of shape, and then like I'm dying to get it. So are you one of those collectors, or do you just open them up and display them on your shelf?
No, I keep them in the box. I want to keep them nice. So I can't say I'm up to 2 o'clock in the morning on Hot Topic, but I do keep them in the box at least. I want to keep them nice, and they're going to be collector's items too at some point. So
So what do you collect? Because that's the other question that I'm curious about.
I have a mix. Like I have like a bunch of Jokers because I love the Joker. A couple of Harley Quinn. I have some wrestling. I have a couple from like Bob's I have the Golden Girls because I'm obsessed with the Golden Girls. So I have all of those, the Dorbs and the Funkos because they're amazing. I'm trying to think what else. I'm trying to look at my collection over here.
So,
Ron Swanson because he's just the man. I have Prison Mike from The Office. Thank you, Gator. I have a couple of Family Guy too, Rick and Morty. So, and Al Bundy because that's my dad.
do you collect exclusives or do you just collect all of the set?
A little bit of both. It depends. Like the Golden Girls, I have all of them, but like some of them I like get like the exclusive. Like one of the Rick and Morty, I have like the Snowball. I think that one was like an exclusive, and I have like the John Cena, the clear one that you can't see him. I know that was supposed to be like an Amazon exclusive or something. So I mean, I have a couple. Like I don't have that many, but not yet anyway.
So what is your favorite Pop Funko and your most expensive one that you went after?
um, I guess my favorites are the Golden Girls. You know, just because I love them. My most expensive one.
And most valuable one also.
I don't know, honestly. I'm trying to look. I don't know. Like, I don't think I've paid that much for, like, I've paid like the normal prices. I don't know. I don't think I've paid more than like 20 for one, I think. Like, I don't have like the good, real exclusive ones, but I don't know which one would be more. I have to look that up to see what would be like the most valuable.
And so people also want to know, what is your next collection or series that you're going to work on that you're going after
Um,
in
I
the
want to
Funko
get the
world?
Baby Yoda one just because I'm obsessed with Baby Yoda too. I know it's on like pre-sale now. I haven't ordered it yet, so it's probably sold out, but I will get it at
Which
some
Baby
point.
Yodas? Because there's like five of them now.
I want all of them. Give me all the Baby Yodas. He's so cute. I can't take it.
And so I think that's just great. That's wonderful. So and for those who don't know, that's also known as the child, the chosen one,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. You know,
Yeah, he's gonna have a name. He doesn't have a name yet, like a real name.
there's like a 10-inch one too.
Yeah, I'll probably get both. I'm like, just give me all the Baby
There's one of
Yoda.
him eating like a frog type thing,
Oh yeah. I did see that too. Yeah, I gotta get them all.
and then there's another one that's a scene with the Mandalorian and him. It's like a $40 one.
Oh, nice.
And it's like a set. It's
That's
it's
cool.
it's a really good one, and it's interesting, and I think they're still up for pre-order in certain places. Like
Mm.
Chalice has them up, and I think like they have that you could buy like two or three of them for like $27 or $36, and it's almost like a combo, and they come in like a nice protector. It's really
Nice.
awesome. That I just
I
saw
gotta
it the
check
other
that
day.
out. Yeah,
It's
that's
because I was
cool.
just eyeing the Count Dooku one from like Bounty Hunters
Okay.
collectibles. And that one's cool because it's Christopher Lee
Yep.
with the lightsaber. But I digress. I'm a sucker for Star Wars. In case anybody hasn't figured that out yet.
Yep.
But I think we've spoken enough about Pop Funkos, and I think we're going to table it there. But I do want to give you an opportunity to promote yourself because right now wrestlers are getting hammered. You know,
Mhm.
you are still working and you're working from home and you're handling it, and you're
Mhm.
doing fine, or it seems you're doing okay, surviving and weathering the storm till this thing clears up.
Trying
Where
to.
where can people go and buy your T-shirts and buy your merch and things like that?
I do have an online store. It's arielanyx.bigcartel.com. And you can also like reach me like through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Ariela Nyx.
Awesome. Well, I think that covers everything. I'm just going to say, because I've been saying it to everybody lately who's been on this show, and I've been doing a lot of these interviews, that support is not just monetary anymore. You know,
Mhm.
times are tough, and at least I'm saying, I don't know if you agree, and it's cool if you disagree, that
Mhm.
if you right now can't afford to go buy a shirt, or you
Mhm.
can't go and keep or not ask for a refund for an event that you were supposed to go to,
Mhm.
then the next best thing that you can do, and there's no excuse anymore, is follow somebody on Twitter, like
Mm,
their Facebook page, comment on their Twitter, comment on their Facebook page, like a post they put up, share a post. Because all
mm,
that stuff, what it actually does, just to give everybody some insight, is it actually affects the algorithm of Twitter, of Facebook, of SEO. And that can be just as valuable because if 100 people go like a tweet, it changes who sees that tweet, or if 100 people retweet or following, that all changes. And all of a sudden, because I've seen it on my end, where some
mm,
50 people like a tweet of mine, all of a sudden I then get like 5 followers out of it. So
yeah.
no excuse anymore because that stuff is free. And the only excuse you would have is if your power is being cut out and you've run out of internet, which
Mm,
probably isn't happening right now for
yeah.
most people. So no excuse anymore. So go
Yes.
follow Ariela Nyx. Go support. If you got the money, buy a T-shirt. If you don't have the money, definitely follow on social media. Support wrestlers. Because I'm gonna also say it this way: you gotta support promotions. You gotta support wrestlers. Because if you
Mm,
want the people to come back
yep.
in what's looking like late 2020, early 2021, the way wrestlers will come back is if you buy their merch and you subsidize their income during this crisis so that they still stay in this position. And same thing with
Mm,
promotions. So we're going to end on that
yep.
note.
Yes. You nailed it. Yep. Any support, it always means the world to me. Like you said, if you don't have the money, I would have never want anybody to go broke or not pay a bill just to buy a shirt. So if you want, at least follow, retweet, like you said, share a post. Trust me, it's greatly appreciated.